Good morning. I'm here to do the header, and we checked it last week actually, and we're quite happy with it. Somebody's just turned up. Yeah, Luke washed it all and everything. So there's a bit of an oil leak there. Yeah, so gonna basically show you what I've done. Managed to salvage all these parts and painted them. So those two are actually like fresh ones because we couldn't. I've got a spares header, which all those come off and those spokes come off. We painted them, and as you can see, it's a little bit of a bright colour, but I think over time it will just blend in. Obviously, it isn't the original colour, but it's a wood stain. You know, we're not doing the combine up to an original condition; we're doing it to a working condition. So over time, this white will sort of attract. Oh, there you go. Drop that. There you go. You see, it'll attract dirt like it just did. Yeah. So little by little, it'll get a little bit dirty, and it'll just blend in with the rest of the machine. But the main thing was I needed to sort of like protect this wood, because as you can see, this has already got a little bit of woodworm because it was on a different header. And rather than make it all new, I thought I'd recycle what we had. And like, if you look, this is all rotted away, look, for whatever reason. I mean, some of them are all right, but in fact, I don't think any of them are all right on this one, actually. They're all, I mean, that's probably the best one, and that's knackered. But yeah, that one's not too bad, actually, but we're going to change all them anyway and get them all, the fresh ones put on them, chuck all that old stuff away. We've got to obviously put some fresh tines in these and then paint them again, because they've all had a second coat, or most of them have anyway. I don't think that one has. But yeah, put fresh tines in these. If you look, they're different. You see how you've got the holes in different places. So as it sweeps round, it's supposed to, the tines alternate from one to one. So like you got one row like that, and then you got one row like that, so it gets all the crop off the header. This one is just slightly too thick. When I had it cut, when I had the wood cut, they measured here instead of where the grips go, where the clamps go. And what happens is, obviously over time the wood swells up, and so the measurement was slightly wrong. So this has got to go for a planer, and then I'll paint it and put the tines in. But the first job is to get those tines on. It's quite a big job, you know. It's not a little job. I've got to undo all these, get these in, and obviously I want to undo these because I don't want all the weight hanging on there, hanging on the one tine. They've all got to hang together. And another big job is actually taking these out and putting them in the new ones. It takes ages, but yeah, it takes hours and hours. We've got, I see he's taken that out and knocked the thing out of there. We've got new bearings to go in here. They were actually 20 quid each. Some people were asking like 60 quid each for them. The knife doesn't look too bad, actually. I mean, we can resection it. I've got new sections. The belts, I mean, they're not beautiful, but I'm thinking, just while we're doing it this year, just tidy the belts up by cutting these like tassels off. And yeah, I think you get a bit more use out of them. They're not great, but I think just at the minute, we haven't got a massive amount of cash. I see he's put a new bearing in there, look. Put the clip in there, so that's ready to go. That's actually the knife drive bearing. That drives that focus, yeah, that arm drives off of this eccentric. And they were, I mean, I've heard people say, like, when in their day, this was a good old design, you know. It was good thought. It was a good way of thinking. Do you know one thing about this header? this auger is really good. They, you know, all the bushes are good. Well, they're not, like I say, they're not perfect. They have worn a little bit, but they're much better than usual. Not quite often you'll see that they're that worn out, these little nylons, that they're rubbing into the metal. It's got a new bed put in it. The welding's not exactly A-class level, but it's got a new bed in it. So, you know, that's one less thing we've got to worry about. Yeah, see, it gets stuck on there, look. Yeah, it gets stuck. There's a little bolt down here. Somebody's put a patch in here and they haven't put it low enough, so we've got to deal with that. But yeah, do you know, I'm actually quite pleased with it. It's a little bit better than, well, it's actually quite a lot better than I was expecting. Usually when you get an old combine, especially the feed auger, the bearings are loose, and the feed auger is a right pig of a thing to change all the stuff in there. You can do it, it's all doable, but it just takes ages. You've got to take the stub shaft off the end, you've got to take the reel off because you've got to roll it out, and it's all just a nightmare. But this auger on this one is good, and so that's just one less thing we've got to worry about. The biggest job on this by far is the reel. When the combine comes, as far as I'm aware, that there is tidy up jobs, but to get it working, there's one big bearing that needs doing, and I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I want to put tyres, take the tyres off of it and swap them so I can put some decent tyres on my other combine, because the tyres are actually off my other combine. Couple of belts, chains, but apart from that, I think really there ain't that much to get it running. We'll find out when it gets here. It only get here a couple of weeks now. Trying to think what else we need to. Sieves, that's it as well. If anybody's got any sieves like from Model C, let us know, because they're a bit knackered. Could do with some fresh ones. They're quite hard to find, I suppose, but if somebody's got them, let us know, because we haven't got that much money sort of spare at the minute, because everything, I've got a lot on, but it's something that we need to sort of get sorted to get it running. We have got the sieves, but there's like the back rail that holds it all together is missing, and all the wooden edges come away, and all of the little flights have come off. But I think we can fix it. It's just another job I've got to look at when it comes back, because we couldn't bring the sieves back on this, because they were going to get even more broken on the trailer, so they had to come back on the lorry. But that's the most of it. Yeah, like I say, I'm quite impressed with it. What we'll probably have to take the knife out and have a look at it. We've got some extra fingers. If any of them are slightly worn, we're going to change the fingers. Going to run a wire brush over the surface rust over the header so that it feeds better when we get it going. But like I say, on the whole, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a lot better than I thought. That's the guard that goes over the intermediate reel drive. That's the drum belt, a bit knackered. But yeah. Right, so I'll have to get on. I'll catch up with you later today. I'll show you how far I got. Hopefully I'll get this reel basically done today. I won't get all of it done because there is quite a lot of work to do, but I'll get the basic part of it done. And that's the biggest job on the whole combine, really, getting this reel done. So yeah, it's all coming together bit by bit. So there you go. I'll see you later. Bye. Yeah, that's taken us all day to get that far. Yeah, a lot of work. We were at the pub for lunch and everything, but that's basically the outcome of a whole day's work. I knew it'd be quite labour intensive, but I didn't really sort of anticipate it was going to take this long. But there you go, it is what it is. Needs doing. It's, like I say, probably the biggest job on the machine. I'll put these spokes in the middle here. And the colour's a bit bright, I knew it would be, but I think over time it'll blend in. Stands out a bit now, but it's definitely better than it was, and it means the wood can last a little while. But basically that's it for today. I'm going to go home in a minute, but I'll follow on this another time when we've got the header complete, and obviously the combine will be here in 2 weeks, so we'll start that as well. So it won't be that long, and it'll be hopefully be in the field, so I'll catch up with you then. See you later.